Artifact number 26. Two gaping holes, one larger than the other, more like a tear or a purposeful bore that went wrong, revealing layers and layers and sandy textures, and then an infinite blackness which continues farther and farther until its recession is unknown in depth. Imagine the peeling of a potato, a really fresh one with white flesh and a brown speckled skin, where the blade meets the skin and just begins to pull back the thick slabs that come off like chips, that when still attached are quite rigid. See the mountainous forms it creates, like the cracking off of a fresh piece of asparagus, snapping the rubbery end to ensure proper freshness, that crack so visceral you can hear it now. The spoon you hold at the dinner table, its long, long handle, finally coming to a hollow round at its end, barely big enough to hold a teaspoon of sugar or a single blueberry. Its cold, shiny silver face reflects the multiple colored browns and beiges that decorate the upper portion of the ramekin, which still has some residue heat, and the bottom cold to the touch from the chilling custard. The creme brulee as your spoon comes down to tap its upper crust. You can hear the beautiful sound of burnt sugar, a hollow yet robust glassy sound with no echo and no thud, but more a thunk and a ting. You keep tapping until your spoon breaks through, creating cracks and divots in its surface. Where the most impact was made, you clench your spoon, and as if ice fishing, your spoon reaches in and collects a portion of custard and shards, making the bored hole even more prominent with its protruding edges. At last, satisfaction as it comes to meet your lips, just this slight touch already producing the feeling of silky cream and caramel in olfactory, the film of sugar coating your lips as your tongue surrounds the spoon and cradles the little morsel of confection it's been given. And yet, there's so many other desserts on the menu. The traditional cheesecake, where its graham cracker crust is just as fun to eat as it is to form or push your hands into its sandy mounds, coating your hands in a thin layer of butter. Or the crumb of a blondie after it's come out of the oven. Watch as it falls onto the counter, as the serrated knife passes against the newly formed dense bar, filling the air with the scent of more caramel and butter and sugar, as if passing through a bakery. Perhaps an apple crumble where the oats are tossed lightly and mixed with crumb cake topping, forming the perfect crunch to the slippery melting filling. Or the excavation site in a mud pie searching for the Oreo crumbs that have sat too long in their gelatinous partnership, becoming mush instead of crunch, soil instead of dust, but lovely and chocolatey in taste nonetheless. You pierce the foam on a latte with a straw. The foam hugs the cylindrical shape as closely as possible, falling down yet buoyant against the dark liquid underneath. If you look into the hole of your straw, darkness. It's too narrow to really see what's going on, so you place your lips against its plastic circle and pull your cheeks in until the warm liquid floods your mouth. The foam leaves rings on the side of the cup as it slips lower and lower. There's a back and forth motion of the straw, seeking caffeinated buzz, but instead welcomed with the slurping and squealing of nothing. Now consider this over a cup of coffee.